What if I told you that the best way to get rich doesn't require 12-hour work days and 7 different businesses?
You guys couldn't tell we work all day, every day now.
I would say 10 to 12 hours a day is like pretty much 6 days a week.
Also, keep in mind, this is not 10 to 12 hours a day we just spend on one single business. We run multiple businesses together. So.
Now, if you don't want to live your life like those guys, keep watching this video. The idea that you have to put in 12-hour days into an online business in 2025 is just simply not true. In the new digital wisdom value-packed economy, the practical way to get rich is turning your passions into profit. This isn't a brand new theory, and I'm aware of that. People have been talking about this in the personal brand space for years now. But in my opinion, they're missing a crucial element. The real flex isn't in abandoning your current life to start from scratch. It's in strategically positioning yourself online while maintaining your current income stream. This dual approach is what's going to separate those who survive from those who thrive in tomorrow's economy. To be honest, I'm tired of hearing that same ass recycled advice. Just package your job knowledge up and sell it online, or you already have skills, monetize them. These statements completely miss the point. You're looking to build something online precisely because you want to escape what you're currently doing right now, not double down on it. This isn't about becoming another freelancer doing work you already despise, or launching an agency in an oversaturated market where everyone with a laptop thinks that they can print some bands. This is about creating a system that works for you, not the other way around. The digital economy rewards those who understand one fundamental truth. Value creation doesn't have to consume your entire existence. The smartest players are building wealth while living a life on their terms. How does someone build a personal brand online without sacrificing their sanity or falling down the hustle culture rabbit hole? In my opinion, the answer to that is curation. Now, some might be asking, what is curation? But I think honestly, the better question is who is a curator? The simplest way that I can state this is that curators are their modern age mini Oprahs. What do I mean by that? First, we must realize that everybody walking on planet Earth has multiple interests, right? 10, 20s, 30s, sometimes even hundreds of interests per person. That's why the term polymath has gained so much popularity online, because so many people resonate with it. And to be honest, I'm one of those people as well. I have vast amount of interest, and that's what tricked me into trying to find this niche. Oprah was the same exact way. On her show, she did celebrity interviews, book club selections, social issues, current events, spiritual discussions, women issues and empowerment, career development. The list goes on, right? She didn't just box herself into politics or fashion or gossip. She provided her fans with fresh segments every day. If we're being real, the fans didn't even really give a fuck about the topics, right? To an extent, obviously. But Oprah made the topics. She was magnetic. People watched it for her. So becoming rich the practical way is becoming your own mini Oprah, publishing your own curation across the internet, leaning into our interests and turning these various topics we intake on a week-to-week basis into a well-oiled digital enterprise. This video will provide you steps on exactly how to achieve that, so you have a very clear system to use to get rich on your own terms. Now, luckily for you, right, I'm going to give you the 5 clearest steps to getting your personal brand rolling right now, and the subsequent steps once you have a good foundation under you to be able to monetize and build the life and vision that you've always wanted. Real quick, if you're here, I got to say subscribe. You know, I gotta get the regular YouTube shit out the way. Come on, stop. Come on. You know I was gonna say it. Come on. So jumping right in, right? Step 1, understand how a personal brand works. When I started trying to find my way online, I was doing anything, drop shit, crypto trading, marketing agency, all the popular get rich quick schemes online. I ran into roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. And to keep it real, just up until maybe 12, 13, 14 months ago, I was doing this until I realized one thing. When I came to the crib after work, I wasn't sitting there consuming content on online business get rich quick schemes. I was consuming content about philosophy, mindset, business, the creator economy, self-mastery, and honestly, the list goes on and on and on and on, right? That is when the switch flipped for me. I needed to start making content in the fields that I was already consuming for fun. So many people, myself included, right, think that we need to box ourselves into one of these big, broad ass niches: health, politics, productivity, stoicism, all these big bucket items that really don't matter at all. It's just simply not true. The real way to view personal branding is as an aggregation of all your current interests into one. This creates your own class of brand that cannot be replicated, right? This is world-class content creation. If you don't believe me or my Oprah example, because she was all the way back in the day and had her own TV show, let's take Joe Rogan, right? The biggest podcaster in history, for example. His interests include, but are not limited to, comedy, MMA, politics, right? Health, fitness, psychedelics, conspiracy theories, aliens, Okay, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. Those are the big buckets. He has a ton of micro niches underneath him. What I'm trying to convey is that naturally humans have many different interests. Like I said before, those interests tend to evolve over time. Knowing that, we need to build our personal brand around not one thing, but around many different things. This is going to help you not get stuck in the future doing something that you actually hate when you thought that you liked it 1, 2, 3 years ago. Our job is not to talk about one thing at a high level, but to learn how to talk about anything while making it interesting. This is why Brett Cooper can still talk about the NFL and still get hundreds of thousands of views. People just want to hear her yap, right? They don't really care too much about what the topic is. Again, to an extent, my goal and our goal is to create an audience the same way. So what I want you to do is start taking note of everything that perks your interest and make a note of the subject matter. Go through your watch history, take some notes. I want you to really dial your awareness up. When you stop scrolling on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it was, why did you stop? Think about it really honestly. Like, what captivated you in that hook and made you take a second to view the rest of the content? This is what I mean by dialing your awareness up, right? You got to start tapping into the way that other people are getting your attention. That way we can flip the script and start using it on the folks that have not turned that dial up. And don't feel bad about that, right? Everybody is at different stages. Everybody's at a different point in their life. Let them go through their journey. We're going to go through ours, and ours is by flipping that switch and using the attention economy in a good way now. So once we start recognizing these patterns, once you have a good list set out, we need to start formulating the topics into what I call tags. Now, here's a list of mine from a few months ago. I want you to realize that the culmination or grouping of these tags are your niche. Yours might look completely different than mine, right? It probably will look completely different than mine. And I want you also to understand that naturally over time, this could be 24 hours, a week, a couple days, a couple months, a couple years. Things will fall off and things will get added, right? That's fine. That's the point. Your job is now not tied to a specific industry or niche, but to yourself. You have to learn how to make anything you want to talk about interesting. The trick to that, you have to like the topic in the first place, right? The easier it is to not force yourself into writing, talking, engaging with something, the better. So the TLDR, right? Create content around many different topics. You are much more desirable if you are a girl who blends goth, sports, and the love for alcohol in her content than a girl who bases her whole brand around unboxings, right? You want to be as broad as possible. That way the niche finds you, the people find you, and you create this world-class market where you can't be replaced because nobody is going to jump into your niche because there is no niche to even jump into, right? That is what's going to set you apart from everybody else online. You need to curate your niche of one. Now that we have that understanding, it's time for step 2, finding your platform. So since we have our topics for what we're going to post about online out the way, we need to find a platform to post to. I'm sure you already know this, but if you don't, it's not enough to just have some cool ideas and thoughts, right? We need a vessel to get from point A to point B. That vessel is obviously, in my opinion, writing. All content creation comes from writing. If you want to argue with me, at least do it in the comments so that we can both benefit from the spat back and forth, right? But everything stems off of writing. I do not care what you say. So get used to writing, write your scripts, write your outline for videos, whatever it is, you need to be writing in order to progress. That's what's going to stand you apart from people that just put the camera in front of their face and just start trying to talk about life like it's hella interesting, like when nobody gives a fuck, right? Okay, so understand that writing is necessary. So with that being known, now we need to find our platform to write on. I personally use the 2x2 method, right? And I think that this is the best way to find a platform to post on. So what do I mean by the 2x2, right? What I mean by that is one long form and one short form. Take a look at this table right here, right? We have YouTube and Twitter, LinkedIn and Twitter, YouTube and TikTok, a newsletter or Substack and Instagram, right? A YouTube and Instagram, whatever it is, right? You need to be combining something in the long form vertical with a short form vertical, right? The whole point of this is to have a platform you can post on once a week as your long form while being able to send out daily content on the short form side. And you may notice that Twitter is on there a ton because even though the masses think that it's a washed up social site, to me, it is a great playground for playing with ideas online, right? You don't need to show your face. You can just tweet endlessly and not get deducted by the algorithm. And most people think it's dead. So, right. So nobody from your hometown is going to be on there checking for you or trying to roast on you while you are hella cringe and trying to come up online, right? So it's just a great playground. If you don't know where to start at all, start there. The whole point of this, and I'm trying to get across, is that you need to put work in weekly by writing a long form piece of content that you can turn into a video, newsletter, reel, TikTok, whatever it is, and then post that, and that will attract an audience and build authority over time. So again, break the long form content up, whether it's a YouTube, newsletter, LinkedIn post, and we're going to break that into little micro pieces and post that on our TikTok or Instagram, Twitter, whatever it is on the short form side. Now just know if you only choose to do short form content or only post to one site, that's completely fine with me, but you need to ramp it up. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be posting there a daily, multiple times. So if it's a TikTok, Instagram, I need to see 2 videos coming out of you. 2 videos, bro. There's no excuses. I'm going to show you a video here in a minute that will give you some motivation with that, but you need to be putting in the work. If you're not going to split your time up between 2 different forms, long form or short form, or you're only going to focus on short form, you need to be hammering the content, bro. I'm sorry. You need to be hammering that shit to grow. It's 2025, bro. There's thousands, millions of people out there trying to become content creators. We got to do a little more. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you do pick the 2x2 method, I personally think that you need to be making YouTube your long form choice. It easily has the best cap out of everything else out there. AdSense, community building, partnerships. There are so many advantages to YouTube over other platforms, right? You don't even need to use your face for it at this point. But regardless, I still know that there's a barrier holding some people back from YouTube. They feel like it's very unnerving and there's like a big gap between TikTok and Instagram going to YouTube. But again, pick your poison. Whatever it is, just go all in with it, okay? Whatever it is that you decide, just make sure you apply step 3 in this process. So step 3. Consistent creation. I cannot explain how much being consistent in anything in life is how you win. Okay. 1 workout a week is not going to do anything for you. Eating healthy 1 out of 7 days does nothing. Trust me. Working on your brand 2 hours a week does nothing as well. Okay. You need to realize this. You need to get serious and level up your mindset to take the process serious. You need to romanticize the process, fall in love with it. So what does this look like? Like I said, in step 2, if you couldn't find a long form platform that suited you, that's fine. Just know that you have to be posting every day to your short form platform and be ready for them 100 views and them no likes, bro. It's gonna come, but you have to persevere and you have to push past that. You gotta push past that sludge called the beginning, right? All the greats have experienced the beginning. You do not get to magically jump this step because you feel entitled. I seen a great post from Brand on TikTok, and honestly, he said it the best, so I'll play it here.
The hardest part of being a content creator isn't being a content creator. It's becoming a content creator. And that is where I think that it is so hard for people like myself to find success in this industry unless you are a Nepo baby or someone who was just born into wealth. Because for me, I wasn't. And I had to work every single day and get home from work and say, I want to be a creator. And even though I'm exhausted and I got up at 7 a.m., I got on the subway to go to work at 8 and I got home at 6. All I want to do is put my fat ass on the couch and eat sushi. I have to lock in and post 2 videos a day. That was a number I set for myself because I was like, the only way to grow as someone like me who started with 0 followers and was a nobody, for me was to post consistently and show up, take up space on people's For You page, let them get sick of me from seeing me so much until they were going to finally fucking listen to me.
You cannot rush greatness, right? We need to get started and be consistent about our approach. Use 3-month intervals as your basis for creating content or launching any project or goal that you have, right? If you're not familiar with that process, check out my last video where I dive all the way into creating urgency and outpacing everyone by doing 95% more than people just by simply setting out a strategic game plan over a 12-week period. But with that out the way, we can jump into step 4, right? 1,000 true fans. And to be real, this next step isn't even really a step at all. It's more of a concept to strive for. Most creators make this fatal mistake of chasing vanity metrics like followers, likes, views, etc., right? Your only focus when starting out should be securing your 1,000 true fans. This concept was popularized by Kevin Kelly back in 2008, and it's more relevant now than ever, in my opinion. I'll link it right below that like button in the description. You should not start your personal brand approach by trying to go viral or gaining a multi-million-dollar audience base with 1 or 2 videos. In the era that we currently live in of this algorithmic chaos and fleeting attention spans, these 1,000 true fans become your personal distribution network. They aren't casual followers, they're mega supporters. What do they do for you? Well, they consume everything you publish, they purchase anything you release, they defend your ideas in comment sections, they share your work without being asked, and they provide feedback that shapes your evolution. These fans are honestly not just supporting you, they market you. They're your unpaid sales teams, right? They're constantly bringing new people into your ecosystem. They're telling friends, family, people all across the internet about your content. And honestly, it's a great trade-off. You provide value to them, you provide them entertainment, you provide them with new ideas, better ideas, you flip triggers in their mind, and in return, they try to help your brand grow. It's a win-win, right? You lock it in, like these are your twins, right? You got to take care of them, they're going to take care of you. In other words, the math is super simple on this, boys. 1,000 people spending $100 a year on your products, boom, you've got a 6-figure business just like that. That's the practical path to wealth creation. not chasing millions of lukewarm followers who never convert. Sell to people who want to be sold to, who believe in the brand, who believe in the destination, right? Dan Coe does this amazing. Ali Abdaal does this really, really good. Alex Ramosi is damn near the GOAT at this point of doing this shit on a high ticket scale. There's literally endless amounts of proof of people doing this on a day-to-day basis. And the reason why they're getting away with it is because they're actually providing value in exchange for what they're asking for. Okay. So how do you cultivate these high value relationships with your 1,000 true fans? Well, here's a couple things to consider, right? You need to create with consistency. That was steps 2 and 3. You need to deliver disappropriate amounts of value to what you ask for in return. You need to engage personally with early supporters, and you need to make micro adjustments based off their feedback. You don't want these people to have the last say in your brand, but you want to take in the feedback and make these micro adjustments so that you can continue to grow, right? We also need to maintain authenticity. People can smell that manufactured persona from miles away. Now, here's a warning though. Your true fans do not materialize overnight. They develop through repeated positive interactions with your work and content. Each piece of content is a trust deposit into the relationship bank. Stop trying to be the next Mr. Beast or Emma Chamberlain, right? The world already has those people. Be the only version of you that exists. Curate your unique perspective and your 1,000 people will find you. I promise. Step 5, right? The last step. Package your knowledge into products. You've now built an audience and earned the trust. Now it's time to turn that attention into some bread. The practical path to wealth in the digital economy is turning your expertise into products that sell while you sleep. Heads up, more free game. If you're not selling a product, then you are the product. Selling your time to clients and attention to platforms is just a recipe for disaster, right? Digital products change this equation entirely. 95% profit margins, create once, sell infinitely, zero inventory or shipping, and you can sell 24/7, 365 without your involvement. But Roy, I don't know what digital products to sell. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. This is where you kind of have to put them big boy pants on and figure it out yourself, right? It's so dependent on your own unique strategy and your own unique curation and what you talk about. It's hard to give generic advice. Hell, I ain't even got an offer yet. You feel me? Like if you scroll down to the description, all I got is a website. All I'm asking for is a newsletter sign up. So this is hard. Okay. You have to realize that. But whatever it is, a good rule of thumb is to sell something your former or current self would use. That's the framework that I'm using. So what do I mean by that, right? This is what I've seen work in different price brackets. We have our entry-level products that are in that $15 to $50 range. These are like Notion templates. Then we also have processes and systems. And then we also have curated resource libraries like swipe files or 101 different hooks, right? Things like that. Then we have the mid-tier products, right? These are the $50 to $500 range. These are comprehensive courses, digital toolkits, membership communities. This is the DIY section, right? The do-it-yourself section. You sell something to someone and you expect for them to take it and either run with it or continue to be who they were yesterday, right? It's not really up to you. You sold them this. It's on them to complete this. But then you have the premium products, which is the inverse of that, right? This is the 500 plus. These are intensive boot camps, cohorts, done with you services. So rather than just having someone do it on their own, you have coaching calls with someone maybe where they're trying to push you and coach you into the next stage that you're trying to hit. That's that 500 plus market. To me, honestly, I think that you should start with an entry level product, right? Some people will argue this and say that you need a $1,000 offer right off the bat. I mean, it's really up to what you view, right? And what you think is best. I like the entry level because honestly, it provides less stress, right? You don't need to feel weighed down to deliver some ungodly amounts of value. Lower ticket items have more flexibility when it comes to the delivery promises. So the main tip I'm going to give you is this. You're not selling information that's freely available anywhere. You're selling a streamlined path to results based off of what you had to do to get to the point where you're at right now. People do not buy products, right? They buy the better version of themselves that the product can produce. So sit on that for a little bit, right? The internet has created the greatest wealth transfer opportunity in history. We are truly blessed to be living in a digital time like this. I don't need you to be getting distracted by analysis. Just start, right? So if you can't handle this whole video, just start in step 1 and step 2, right? Just find the couple things that you like talking about and then find what platform you like posting to and then just jump into it and create consistently, bro. That's it. And then the rest of this shit, you'll figure out as you keep going. Okay. Naval said it best. There are almost 7 billion people on this planet. Someday, I hope there will almost be 7 billion companies. Okay, and I have the same hope too as well. That's going to be it for this week. Follow my newsletter in the description below. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to see you guys on the next week's episode.